Negative emotion means you've become something that you're not letting yourself be. You are something more than you are letting yourself be. And we know for sure about Esther, when that happens to her, she can hardly stand to be separated from who she is. Nothing makes her more upset than to realize that she has become something that she is now not allowing, because the perspective she holds is not allowing her to be in that vibrational frequency. You are flesh, blood, and bony, you know that? And in your physicalness, sometimes you forget that you are vibrational beings. But tonight we will have a discussion about your vibrational nature, because unless you are willing to acknowledge your vibrational nature, and unless you are able to measure your vibrational relationship with the expanded part of you, you will never be able to control your vibration, and you will therefore never be able to be consistently in alignment, and therefore you will never be able to be consistently joyful. So a lot hinges upon you knowing a handful of things. First, you are a vibrational being, and everything and everyone else in the universe is too. Next, the vibration that is you and the vibration that is everything else is managed by the powerful law of attraction. Law of attraction puts those vibrations that are the same together. So you are vibrational beings, and law of attraction is managing it. And next, the emotion that you feel lets you know how close to allowing your alignment you are, or how far you are in resisting it. The better you feel, you are in alignment. The worse you feel, you are in resistance of it. And once you understand that, do you? Been listening to us for a while? Do you accept that you are? Do you know that you are vibrational beings, and that your emotions are your guidance system to let you know whether you're what? Whether you're doing good? No. Whether you are pleasing someone else? No. Whether you're vibrationally up to speed with the expansion that your life has helped you to carve out for yourself. So when you let your alignment with who you are be of primary importance, and when you care about how you feel so that you guide your thoughts incrementally, bit by bit, what you begin to notice is you become accustomed to that high frequency. And when you dip out of it, you really, really know it. A lot of people, you know, rarely dip into alignment. They are mostly out. Sometimes they stumble in. Sometimes they find their way there through appreciation, through making lists of positive aspects, through meditation, through listening to music. In fact, there are a lot of things that distract you from that thing you do that holds you at a lower frequency. But when you accept that you are a vibrational being, and that the thought you think is the reason for the vibration in this moment, and then you do now, where all of your power is, the best you can to find the best feeling thought which brings you to the highest possible frequency, what you begin to notice is it becomes easier and easier to maintain that. For a while we called that opening your valve. For a while we called it coming into alignment with who you really are. We've given it a lot of different verbiage over the years. But what we really want you to hear tonight is that you have expanded beyond what you've practiced to maintain. And the more you practice to maintain that higher frequency, the better you will feel. Now, for some, that prize isn't quite enough. Oh, I'll feel better. That's nice. But what about the manifestation of the things that I want? What about those things that my life has helped me to identify that I want? What about the receiving of those? And so then we say, remember, you are vibrational beings, and you have created what we've been lovingly calling your vortex of creation. It's the vibrational version of your creation. It's the vibrational version that precedes all manifestation. It's a vibrational version that exists in the same frequency, you would like to say the same space, in the same place. It exists where your inner being exists. Now for some, this sounds a little bit like a fairy tale, because this vibrational reality is not something I can see, I can't see it or hear it or smell it or taste it or touch it. I can't spend it yet. I can't sleep with it. In other words, it's not exactly what I had in mind when you said, Abraham, that I am the creator of my own reality. I would like a reality that is more tangible. And we say, but first, feel exhilaration for this vortex version. First, feel satisfied with the vortex version that you've conjured. And next, do your best to maintain a frequency that is up to speed with this vortex version. So if you've been listening to us for a while, we've been saying to you that you create your own reality in what we like to acknowledge as a 3-step process. The first step is you must ask, and that's easy because you're asking at all levels of your being all day, every day. The contrast that surrounds you causes you to do that. In fact, you can't stop doing that. You cannot cease seeking improvement about anything. Step 2 is not your work from your physical perspective. Step 2 is, since you've asked and launched this rocket, and since this vibrational rocket has preceded you into what we are calling your vortex of creation, the source within you, your inner being, all of us, rally round this new becoming that you have become and become it completely. We hold steady the vibrational focus of it. We hold the vision of your request. So the question that this workshop wants to ask and answer is the step 3 part of this 3-step process. That's where you must figure out somehow, some way to be a vibrational match to what you've asked for. If you've asked for more money, you can't be beating the drum of not enough and be a match. Oh, you did step 1, you did it, and you did it, and you did it, and you did it, and you did it. You've been asking and asking and asking. And Source has lined everything up. More magnificent rendezvous orchestrated on your behalf than we would have time in all of the rest of the days of your life to articulate. So much has been done on your behalf in lining up the circumstances and events that will produce the manifestation that you seek. But your work is to find some way to be a vibrational match to what you're asking for. And here's the tricky part. You got to believe it before you see it. You got to practice the frequency of your desire before it can flow into your experience. And that's what we are referring to as the preparation of your vibrational grid. Your vibrational grid, you know, like the grid that is like the frame of a house. It is the grid that will be filled in with the details later. You have a vibrational grid that equals your point of attraction, and you are standing in the middle of that grid all day, every day. And what is coming to you in every single case is a vibrational match, a perfect vibrational match, a perfect Focus vibrational on match. The beauty of your environment in every way that you can. Immerse yourself, engulf yourself, surround yourself with as many wonderful aspects. Do everything that you can to be in love with this and 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 in love with this. Do everything that you can think of to do in a day that will make you happy while you're doing it. Because your intentions are already in your vortex. Your inner being already knows what you want and the path to it. So you just got to be as happy as you can be so that you'll be in the receptive mode, so that you'll be ready for the idea. The ideas are being flowed to you all the time. You got to be happy to get the idea, to receive it, to understand it, and to feel enough momentum in it to say, this is what I'm going to do. If you can get it, that all you got to do is tap into that, you will never be discouraged again. You are only ever feeling a feeling of discouragement when you're not tapped into that. So our encouragement to you is do everything that you can do to just stay in this happy place. There are so many reasons to be happy. The words don't really matter very much. Your words don't matter because it's how you feel that equals whether you're in the receptive mode or not. We just want to point out for everyone that when you start out by saying, I'm confused about something, you're in the receptive mode for more confusion, not in the receptive mode for more clarity. So the more you realize that you're looking for clarity and thinking about how good it feels to feel clear. Do you have clarity on some subjects in your life? And those subjects that you have clarity on, how do they feel? And when clarity flows, what does it feel like? And what's happening in your mind when you know you're in a state of clarity? Do the ideas flow easily? And does your ability to explore them and feel happy about them, does that increase? We're just amplifying what a feeling of clarity feels like. You know, when all of a sudden you get that idea, oh, that's a great idea. That's clarity. Then you say, oh, that'll never work. That's not clarity. Do you know what the best way to achieve clarity is? Get off the subject of confusion. So if you get completely off the subject that is causing you confusion, and you get onto a subject where you easily can find clarity, and you get clarity momentum going, then when you go back and talk about the confusing subject, it's more likely that you will find clarity. Does that make sense to you? Does that make sense to you? Even if there's something really strong and really negative in your experience, you can still find clarity around it. Step back and find ease and well-being anyway. And that's why understanding how it all works, understanding the laws of the universe, understanding who you really are, understanding that this too shall pass if it is something unpleasant, helps a lot, yes. So the key is to keep good feeling going as long as you can by milking good feeling situations. And then if there is something that is presenting itself to you that when you feel you need to focus upon it, like you have no choice about it, then you focus upon it with the really overriding, underlying understanding that this is an anomaly, that high flying is who you really are, that this is an exception, that this may even be a residual of something past going on in your experience, that really the momentum is in a different place. And under those conditions, you understand that you can deal with anything when you know how it all really fits together. Get the momentum going on the positive thought, because if you get the momentum going on the positive thought, the negative thought is less likely to come. It's getting out ahead of it that really is where your mastery of all this is. What we're really talking about here is your mood. What's your mood? What's your attitude? What's your mood? What is the mood that's going to turn to things? What's the mood that you've got going on? So if you get up in the morning when your mood is likely good because you haven't had time to brood about things, then if you can keep that positive mood or attitude going, then you'll get further into the day and more positive things will happen. It's getting out ahead of it. What to do when you get blindsided by something that you didn't see coming because that vibration was familiar enough to you that if you'd been in a better mood, you'd have noticed it as something that you wanted to turn away from. But since you were sort of kind of in that mood, you didn't notice it. Did you hear that? So it felt like you got blindsided because it felt sort of normal. It was just an exaggeration of the normal. If you're running around feeling vulnerable, if that's your mood, then things that make you feel more vulnerable are going to keep showing up in your experience. But when you wake up in the morning and you discover that feeling of empowerment, if you can keep that going, after a few days, vulnerability isn't your attitude or mood. Invincibility is, which means you got to find it every morning and hold it as long as you can through the day, and then find it the next morning and hold it as long as you can through the day, and find it the next morning and hold it as long as you can through the day. And before you know it, your day will support the way you started it. Because today, even though your momentum subsided while you sleep, today, you're still going to experience some momentum of past beliefs. So what are you doing at the first of this day will have a big impact on whether those negative beliefs, those hindering beliefs, peter out and do not become part of your experience, or whether they're active enough that they play a big part in your day. It's pretty simple, isn't it? Be as happy as you can be, and when you don't feel happy, take a nap. And when you wake up, be as happy as you can be for as long as you can, and when you don't feel happy, take a nap. And then when you wake up, tell your employer that Abraham said, naps are important.